Okay, so you're here because you want to post on your stories more, but you're not sure where to start. You've come to the right place. Hi, my name is Marissa, and I'm a real estate agent here in Appleton, Wisconsin. I love sharing all my tips and tricks for agents and sharing different types of content related to real estate, but also to my life. And that's gonna be very important for the topic of the day. So I'm gonna give you some ideas and make sure you're taking some notes. And hopefully you don't feel so scared to post on your stories after watching this. Okay, so the first thing that you can post on your stories is probably one of the easiest, but the least done, and that is behind the scenes on your stories. People are obsessed with the inner workings of the life of a real estate agent, and there is a lot of gray area, especially with reality TV, of what we actually do in a day-to-day. So I have seen that people really enjoy getting a glimpse of the behind the scenes. They like seeing that you're writing offers. They like seeing that you're going to a listing appointment, that you had a closing today. They even like seeing you pick up some plants for your own home or for a listing. Anything behind the scenes, things that you're already doing for your job, are things that they're gonna wanna see, trust me. So these are in no particular order, and I just kind of came up with them thinking about what I post on my stories, and it is some work stuff, but it is also a lot of personal things. As a real estate agent, we are offering our services, and we are kind of the thing that we're selling and pitching. So we're not advertising a product, we're advertising ourselves and our personality. And so it's very important for your audience to feel like they actually know you. So my next thing, if you're a reader, is sharing either your current or a recent read, something that you loved, giving a little bit of a rating and a synopsis. And I have seen so many people have responded to my reading posts. So I'll either like post them on my feed or I'll post them in my stories, and I get a lot of conversations going just from that. There are a lot of other readers out there, and you can do this for anything. You could post like a recent movie you watched or a TV show or something else that you're loving. It'll just get the conversation going with someone else. Next is a market update, and you can do this a couple different ways. You can do it in a photo form or a video. You could do a green screen so you have the market data behind you and then you're up front talking about it. I find that video probably works a little bit better, but it is nice for people to just see a quick snapshot sometimes of the market data. And other times I will go onto MLS and I will search a specific county or a city, and I will just compare. I'll just look at list price versus sold price, and I'll say, here's what I'm seeing. Like, this house sold for $30,000 over list price, and you know, this is kind of what the inside looks like. I'll scroll through the pictures. Giving a behind the scenes look at the MLS is also something that people really enjoy seeing, and I get a lot of good feedback on my market updates. Next is chatting about anything related to your business. So today, for example, I had to have the conversation about why offering a buyer agent compensation from a seller standpoint is advantageous to the seller. So why helping contribute to a buyer's agent is advantageous to the seller. And I could go on and talk about that on my stories so that other agents can feel educated and the public can feel educated as well. Brownie points if you're including captions, because a lot of people watch these while they're at work and they need the captions on because they don't have the sound on, or maybe they're out in a public place, maybe they're getting their oil changed and they just don't want to have the sound on. They'll skip right past your video if you don't have captions on. So definitely be including captions on your videos as much as you possibly can. Instagram in particular has auto captions, so definitely utilize those. Next two are kind of together, what you're eating or what you're drinking. So if you want to share like a coffee order, people love that, or giving recommendations. Hey, do you guys have any recommendations for a coffee order? Like, this is what I usually get. Do you have anything similar? Sparking the conversation. That's what your stories are for, is having the conversation and just being vulnerable and transparent. And then also what you're eating. So if there's anything that you've eaten recently that you've just loved, linking that recipe in your story while you're talking about it, or maybe you just have a picture of it, that can be really fun too. Another idea is to post something local. So if you're at a coffee shop or if you're checking out a new small business, just taking a couple snippets from that little adventure and then posting it on your story. So sharing local content, and then bonus points if you tag them in it as well. Next is a favorite workout or a favorite walking trail. I typically will snap pictures while I'm on a trail or while I'm out and about, and then when I come back home, I'll post them on my story so that I don't have to be doing it in real time. I also don't really love posting things in real time because it's just a safety thing. So I like to take pictures and videos while I'm out walking, beautiful things that I see, maybe listings that I'm at, and then later I'll come home, and while I can really just take the time to post it and maybe write any little blurb that I need to, I can take the time to do that. Asta wants to say hi. She is such a lap cat, oh my gosh. Also with favorite workout, I do a lot of workouts on YouTube, and so I will just take a screenshot of the thumbnail, and sometimes I'll even link it on my stories. So that's another fun way. If you find yourself doing at-home workouts on YouTube, you can actually link the same workout and other people can try it too. This is so funny, this just came up because Asta's all over me right now. But another thing you can post on your stories are your pets or your kids. I post a lot of stuff about the kitties, and they're always being so cute. So I take a lot of pictures of them. I maybe have like 300 or 400 pictures on my phone at the moment of the kids. Seriously. Another idea is posting about how to do something. So if you have a recipe that's generally pretty easy to follow along, like I think I posted banana bread on my story once and the recipe that I used, so I just kind of did like a little walkthrough of me making banana bread. I pretty much just snapped photos of each step of the process, and then I put text on the screen, so how much of each ingredient you'd need, and then the instructions. Next is what you're listening to or what you're watching. So it could be your favorite podcast, a really good episode that you've recently listened to, or maybe it's a TV show that you're watching, an episode that you really like, or a movie that you really like. People love consuming things and getting recommendations from other people, so the more you can just put it out there, like, hey, I really liked this thing, and if we're pretty similar in the way that we think, maybe you'll like it too. So people like getting value out of following you and following along with your life, so the more that you can provide value to them, the more that they're gonna keep coming back. These next three are sort of together, and that is a morning routine, a night routine, and a day in the life. So if you have something that you do every morning, so I make a smoothie personally every morning, I have for the past couple of months, I could show how to make it. My night routine, maybe I don't really have a night routine, but maybe I wash my face and then I get my book and then I do something else, and I could post kind of what my night routine is. And day in the life, you can just snap photos and videos and post it later. Like I said about the walking trail thing, you don't have to post them in real time. You can just snap them and do them later. Or another thing that I've seen people do, which I haven't really done, but I really want to, is just giving an overview of your day. So like today I might say like, here's what's on the docket for today. I have 2 showings, then I have a listing appointment, and then I'm going to a workout class, and then I'm gonna, I don't know, snuggle up on the couch and watch movies, you know? So you could really post whatever your day entails and put in what you feel like putting in and leave out what you feel like leaving out. You don't have to have every single detail in there, but people like day in the life and seeing what you're up to. Next is a tip that you would want buyers or sellers to know about. This kind of goes back to what I talked about earlier with talking to my seller about buyer's agent compensation. If there's something that has come up recently and you're like, ugh, I really wish like more buyers knew about this, talk about it on your story. So if there's like, what's an appraisal gap? What's appraisal gap coverage? Like you're getting this question over and over again, that's content. That is free content right there. Address it in your stories, add the captions, and you are golden. Another thing with that is you can also turn that into a reel. You can turn a lot of these ideas into a reel. They don't need to be strictly business. A lot of it can be personal as well. I will make a video eventually on B-roll options for making reels. It's actually a lot simpler than you would think. Just to give you like a taste of it, I could film myself drinking a coffee and then I can put text over the top of it later, something totally unrelated to coffee. Maybe what I want to talk about is really real estate related, and I can put that over the clip of me drinking coffee, and boom, there's a reel, and people are entertained. They're seeing a personal side of me, they're seeing some business advice, it's giving them value, and they love it. So stay tuned for that. Don't know when that will be coming, but I have so many ideas for that. Okay, we've got 3 things left. So next is reviews. So if you have any recent reviews from clients, you can make a little template too in Canva and then just post your reviews. It's really easy to just plug them in and then post them on your story. Second to last thing is probably the most beginner friendly thing, and that is just sharing things that you like. So while you're scrolling on Instagram, if you see a house that you really like, or bathroom tile that you really like, or even a quote you really like, and again, it does not have to be about business. It can be something personal that you just really like, or you think it's really funny. You can just share that to your story. It kind of looks like a paper airplane. You just click that on the post and you can share it to your story. So it's kind of like the way that you would send it to a friend, but this time you're gonna send it to your story. So I really like doing that every here and there. I will just share things that I have liked from different accounts. My last idea is for once you have gotten more comfortable with stories and you're feeling like you're ready for the next level, you can get personal with things. So if there's something going on with your life, maybe it's kind of vulnerable, or you had a bad day, or you want to talk about something kind of crappy that happened, or you want to talk about something that's really exciting that happened, but you feel like, oh, like that's just like blow it too personal. Don't be afraid to be personal on your stories. That's exactly what they're for, and people love seeing you be vulnerable and just in the moment. So often, social media can be a place where we just share the really high points and we just act like our life is so perfect. And so it's really nice and refreshing to see people on their social media just sharing real life things and just reiterating that nobody is perfect and that we all go through things. All right, and then I've just got 2 important notes about all of these things, which I have already addressed, but I just want to bring them home, you know? So first of all, you don't need to look perfect in your stories. People actually prefer when you don't. So I will take a lot of my stories just like sitting in my car or sitting on the couch. I'm not gonna go run into my office, set up my tripod, do this whole thing. I mean, even in my YouTube videos, I'm just like sitting on the floor right now in our living room. But people like it when you're just a real human being. So that's what I'd recommend, is just whipping out your phone whenever inspiration strikes, and whenever you feel like you wanna talk about something, just talk about it. You don't need to be all done up. Your hair doesn't need to be straightened. Like, it could be air dried hair. You don't have to be wearing makeup, and you'll be just fine. People love when you're a real human being. Number 2, which I've already brought up as well, is to use captions for your videos as often as possible. And I brought this up because we're not always watching videos with our sound on, and if you don't have sound on, you're just gonna skip the video. So always recommend having captions on. There have been so many times where I start watching a video on silent with the captions, and then I'm like, okay, actually I wanna like hear their voice. I wanna hear them talking about this thing. Like, I'm intrigued. I wanna stay and like hear more. And so then I'll turn on my volume. So I would recommend using captions as much as humanly possible. All right, well, those are my tips for Instagram stories. I hope that you are excited about posting on your stories now and it feels a little bit less daunting. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every single Monday. They are about my life, about real estate, about pretty much everything in between. Our latest home renovation, tips for real estate agents, tips for buyers, sellers, homeowners, etc. You name it. It's just kind of more of a lifestyle thing at this point. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Linking it in the story, linking the rest of a YouTube workout, which I do a lot of. Pasta. Back to the commission discussion about buying. My foot's falling asleep, Pasta.